Guys, I want to just talk about Frozenheim, my Frozenheim review, Days Gone, which I'm currently playing, and Biomutant, which I'm also currently playing, which is under an NDA, so I can't talk about the game because I'm not PewDiePie, but I can tell you what's going on with that. Also, I'm full of cold, so I feel like shit. So excuse if my voice goes bleh. So Frozenheim, I reviewed that the other day, and the developers weren't happy at all with my review, and there was some fanboys, I'm calling them fanboys because they were fanboys, who pretty much called me a liar even though I produced video evidence of everything that I criticised the game. I called the game garbage, and to me it was garbage, simply because it's a city building RTS and I couldn't do either of them things. So what is the point of the game? It is garbage. It belonged in the bin. If you can't build your city, and I couldn't because I couldn't put a wall around it because the resource piles were not being cleared. I couldn't repair the fence after the enemy had destroyed it. So you ain't got the city builder when you can't do that. That's pointless. So that side of it's rubbish. Then playing it with the RTS, I didn't even get attacked on medium difficulty, and then when I played it on hard, the enemy couldn't even get past a wall. Even if they knocked part of it down, they wouldn't run through it. It was just broken completely. So the two main aspects of the game, city building and RTS gameplay, were both broken. So what have you got left? Nothing. So that's why I called it garbage, because it belonged in the bin. Now, the fact that it took them 3 years to do that is irrelevant, because the end product should be as advertised. And they made a fantastic video showing all this stuff that you literally couldn't do in the actual game. And that pissed me off because it felt like deception. It reminded me of the very first iteration of No Man's Sky, you know? Anyway, obviously the developers were upset with my review, but their response was disgusting. They were pretty much saying that I deliberately do this in reviews for clicks. You couldn't be further from the truth. I would have way more subscribers if I was just a yes man. If I just covered up all these problems, I'd probably be close to 1 million subs by now. The very reason that I lost so many subs is because people can't cope with the truth. They hate it, especially if you're a gamer and you've spent £50 on a game and you think it's alright, and then I come along and say it's shit, like, for example, the Resident Evil The Village, which I thought was garbage. Well, not garbage, but it just wasn't very good. And I showed why in the video. Obviously, that goes against the grain because most people think it's fantastic. Well, that's opinions for you. But when I see bad in a game, I call it out, and most people don't. But anyway, the developers did apologise. So that's fair enough, I guess. What I'm going to do, because my channel since day one has always been about trying to help indie developers. I do more indie reviews than anybody, and I don't want to see games fail, especially games that look as good as Frozenheim, and it does look really, really good. The potential is huge for this. So I'm going to review it again after it's released and see if these bugs have been fixed, because if they have, if the skirmish maps have been fixed, if the enemy can get past a bloody wall and exploit gaps in it, and you know, if your troops aren't getting stuck left, right and centre, and they clear these resource piles and stuff like that, then absolutely this game will be great fun. But my experience of it was that it just wasn't fun at all, so it was a pointless exercise really. So I've done this before with games, especially indie, in fact only with indie games, where my first review, the game's just been awful. But the developers have got back to us and says, look, we've fixed a lot of this, can you have another look? Yes, absolutely, I'll have another look, because I want you to succeed, you know, because the best games I feel are the indie games. So I'm going to review it again. Revisit it. It won't be a full-on review, but it'll certainly be covering the aspects that I disliked in the first review that I did. So I'll be doing that. It'll be sometime next week probably, because at the moment this is where I'm coming to what I'm doing now. I'm playing Days Gone. Just now and then. I haven't done a lot in Days Gone because I'm still hammering Biomutant. Biomutant's a huge game, and I'm 21 hours into Biomutant now, but there's things that I still want to do before I give my opinion on the game. And I said opinion on the game because that's exactly what a review is. If you go to IGN, you're getting an opinion of the person that actually played the game. That's all you're getting. For example, there's an Australian guy who works for IGN who I think is a fantastic game reviewer. There's others that work for IGN that I think are absolute terrible reviewers. And it's the same everywhere you go. If you come onto Worth a Buy, you're just getting my opinion. I don't try to hate a game for the sake of hating a game. I've never done that in a single review, hand on heart, ever. I just don't. If I don't like a game, it's for a damn good reason. It's as simple as that. It really is. And this is why you have to play games for a certain amount of time before you can make an opinion. And you don't need to play them till the end. That's absolute rubbish. Anyone who thinks that you can't come up with whether a game's good or not until you've actually finished it is an idiot. It's simple. Now, if you're reviewing a movie, you damn well have to watch it to the end because it's a completely different thing. You're watching something. You're not partaking in it. Playing a game is all about you doing everything in the game because you want to know, is it clunky? Are the controls smooth? What's the gunplay like? Is the AI any good? What's the graphics like? What's the world feel like? What's the crafting like? What's the interactions like with the people? It's not just about looking at the story. So when you're playing a game, I reckon most games, not all, but most games, you can suss after 5 hours. There's very few games I've ever played. In fact, I can't think of one game that I've played where after 5 hours I've changed my opinion on the game, because you can graft an opinion in an hour. So I've got King of Seas coming up, which will be probably next week now. Actually, that's embargoed till the 24th, so it'll definitely be next week. Biomutant, I got a key. That'll be out the day before the game goes on sale, so you'll be able to check out my review around about the same time as everybody else's. So that makes a change. I'm going to revisit Frozenheim. It won't be a full-on review. It'll probably be a shorter video just addressing the things that was wrong with the game, if they've been fixed. I'm also doing Just Die Already. That's how I feel at the minute. But yeah, there'll be that. But it's my birthday this weekend, so I want the whole weekend off if I can. So I'm trying to finish Biomutant if I can this week and get the review done. So that'll have to be today or tomorrow, but I feel lousy, so I don't know what's going to happen really. Days Gone's going to be after. It'll be back end of next week at the earliest. Days Gone. I do apologise, but I'm not a machine. I can't just do everything. So that's that, guys. I haven't had a day off for ages. It's been weeks now, and it has took its toll. I'm wrecked, and I think that's why I've caught this cold, because I'm so run down at the minute. So I'm gonna get through these, because these are big games. Get through these, get them done, get them out, and then I'm gonna have a few days off. Might even take a week off, to be honest, because there's nothing else coming out I could do with a nice break, to be honest with you. So I might just do that. But all these reviews are coming, but they'll be spread over the next, I would say, 10 days. So there you go, guys. I'm off now to continue my adventures in Biomutant.